Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game SO. Today I got a very fun and very strange video for you guys this evening as we're playing DKC X Mario, a ROM hack released by Rainbowsprinkez that puts Super Mario into the Donkey Kong Country universe. You wouldn't think that it would work, but somehow it completely changes the game up, yet keeps it infinitely familiar at the same time. I went into this just thinking it would be a fun little curiosity, and honestly, it is a ton of fun platform with a self-referential sense of humor that's totally going to play some tongue-in-cheek jokes with you. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I have a Patreon link down below as well. But when I first saw this, I was thinking, how would Super Mario's mechanics work in the world of Donkey Kong Country? Obviously, when Rare developed this game, they designed it around their own gameplay philosophy, so trying to shoehorn in Mario and all of his different physics and mechanics seemed like it would be a hard task. The great thing is, having played this game through to the second world, it just 100% works. It'll range from feeling like a completely different game in a familiar environment to just having Mario where Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong would end up being on the screen. And that is hyper impressive because trying to combine two games and their gameplay mechanics together into one whole game is definitely not an easy feat. But this is absolutely impressive, and I'll get to some of those self-referential jokes in just a moment. But these are the type of ROM hacks that are just because. There's no need to put Mario into Donkey Kong Country. It's an amazing 10 out of 10 game to start, but people think to themselves, what would it be like if I just did X? The modder on this one, Rainbowsprinkez, decided what would it be like if you put Super Mario into Donkey Kong Country and just decided to make the entire thing, and it 100% works. Mario's jumping mechanics combined with the overall Donkey Kong Country physics seem to be very effective, and there's a ton of new music, classic Mario tracks done in the Donkey Kong Country style that gives them a completely new and fresh flair that you've probably never heard before. And obviously not like Super Mario World, but in Donkey Kong Country, Mario can pick up barrels, throw them, and do everything that Donkey Kong could do in the original game. So it really is a fun mashup of two completely different types of games, even though they're in the same genre, that just seems to work. And I think that's the most impressive thing. Once you start playing this game, you kind of forget that it really is a ROM hack throwing Mario into Donkey Kong Country, and you realize that it really is just something that feels like it almost existed back in the day. And having Mario swimming mechanics in Donkey Kong Country water, it does work for that level structure as well. That is the main takeaway. All of these things that you wouldn't be sure whether or not they'd be good ideas seem to work fundamentally perfectly here in Donkey Kong Country X Mario, and that is just fun. I love these experimental, kind of whimsical ROM hacks where people just decide to try something new to see if it works, throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks, and you end up with a game like this. It is just a fun new way to play Donkey Kong Country, and honestly, since we haven't had a new Donkey Kong Country game in a while, it is a breath of fresh air because I always love revisiting the world of this game. So getting Mario involved is definitely something unexpected but absolutely fun. And again, Mario's swimming physics here work so well within the level structure. It really does feel like this is what was intended from the start, so you can definitely play this game. It's got great controls, everything just seems to work. And like I said, there's a lot of self-referential humor as well. When you get to basically any of these little hub worlds, if you go into any of the special areas, you're going to get a Toad just basically making jokes about how strange the world of Donkey Kong Country truly is. But of course, it has the same great graphics from the Rare original, and it's impressive on a technical level that this all just works. This is an intensive ROM hack. It's not just throwing Mario's sprite into the mix, it's changing up gameplay elements, physics, and basically making it feel like this is what was intended in the first place. So from a pure technical standpoint, this is a hyper impressive achievement, getting this all strung together and feeling like it's supposed to be how the game was originally played. And the best part is you get classic Mario tracks within the game that sound like they were basically developed by Rare in their own tone. So go ahead and listen for like 45 seconds or so, and I'll come back and show you a lot more of this ROM hack because it gets even weirder in all the best ways possible. But enjoy. The music totally sounds like it belongs and at the same time sounds completely wrong in the best ways possible, and that is the fun thing, that total mismatch between what you remember Donkey Kong Country looking and sounding like versus what you get here on this ROM hack. Some levels like the minecart area here aren't going to have too many fundamental changes because the physics are really in the minecart versus being in the playable character, but I love the minecart stages in Donkey Kong Country. They were so fun back in the day and not something you saw a ton of in other platforming games, and it really did break up the overall level structure and give you something new to do, and they're definitely here. And this game is something you can play from start to finish. It works on real hardware, it works on software emulation, it works on MiSTer FPGA. There is no wrong way to play this game hardware wise, and the boss fights are a fun pivot as well. You're going to get a fire flower which can kind of stagger the enemy, but with the beaver here, the best thing to do is run back and forth to the left and right and time up the jumps, because it does feel like he is definitely increased in speed over what he used to be able to do in Donkey Kong Country, and that is the fun thing. These fights feel new and fresh even if you've already played this game before, and that's why it is so fun. It is hilarious to see Mario run around in a cavern of bananas and even get a banana at the end of the level once he finally beats the boss, but it does seem to just work. And that's why these things are so fun. They're just labors of love. They're fun little joyful experiences that don't have any real reason to exist outside of the fact that they are just a fun thing to play. And honestly, that's the only reason we really need to check stuff like this out. But again, it's impressive how well the physics system comes over into Donkey Kong Country. Mario feels both like Mario as well as Donkey Kong at the same time, and it is a really good match for the overall structure. Even Mario climbing the ropes there, it does just work, and all of the enemy placement, all of the jumps, you get a really nice sense of platforming fun, because obviously the original Donkey Kong Country was an amazing platformer, as was Super Mario World, so you would expect the exact same thing here, that tight responsive gameplay, and it just 100% is in the mix, and that really is the most fun part of this game. It is so familiar yet feels so unique, and it does have its own sense of place and vibe. And you'll see here that Mario did get shrunk down to Little Mario. You can get mushrooms in the game, and that is fun. So basically all of the other barrels are just used as weapons unless you're firing out of them, and you're definitely going to be firing out of a lot of barrels in Donkey Kong Country. That is part and parcel part of the gameplay, and that is the thing. This is going to be the exact same Donkey Kong Country you played with Donkey Kong, except it's going to have Mario and completely different gameplay stylings because of the control pivots, and it just is so much fun to actually check out, and I do hope to see more ROM hacks like this. I love when they combine two things together, and I love this first Cranky's cabin sequence right here, where Toad basically becomes totally self-referential and starts telling facts about the actual modification of this ROM and how it was done. It is a fun little touch, a little tongue-in-cheek nod to the fact that this is a very strange experience, but also a very fun one that was difficult to make. But one more taste of the music. This is again in the Donkey Kong Country style, and I'll be right back with a little bit more gameplay. Honestly, the musical mashups are some of the best things about this game, but definitely check it out. It's a fun curiosity. When you actually get into it, you realize that the gameplay is so good, you're just going to play Donkey Kong Country one more time. You're just going to be doing it as Super Mario versus Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong. I will leave a link to the ROM hacking page below so you can patch everything up and get it running, but definitely check this one out. It's the type of thing that you would think you'd play for 5 minutes, and then suddenly you played for 5 hours. But short of that, we're done. I'm going to play some more Donkey Kong X Mario, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.